Bed. Love.
Bed.
Bed.
Love. Beyond.
Bed, love, beyond. Bed, love, beyond.
Welcome to Bed, Love, Beyond, the podcast for the hopeful and the hater, and us to discuss sex, love, relationships, and whatever's clever with like-minded people like you who are also in limbo with love like us. I'm Miss April.
I'm Jen, and we're back.
Episode 145, Debunking the Myth, Love at First Sight.
Is it real? Is it fake? Well, Married at First Sight hasn't really helped that myth at all.
Sure, that's basically, well, it's not love at first sight. They don't expect the people, they don't put that pressures on them to like love each
Be
other.
in love.
But it's almost like you have to act like people who love each other do, because you're doing with what people
who love each other do,
because they've had years to get, well, not necessarily, but kind of time, their own time they took to get to that point, and you did it in one day, and it's just really an unnatural thing, that show. I don't get it.
It's so hard to turn away.
It is, because I was sleepy one night and I was like, how we gonna settle this?
Before we get into that, though, maybe it's been a while. What's new in your end of the world?
Daily dish.
Like daily dish.
Not much is new. Same work, family, kid. Not much is going on.
It's always exciting. I mean, like it's like a never-ending cycle of things that occur.
Yeah, same old. I'm getting more excited about the summer and vacation and.
Yeah, I know. You're going on a cruise too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Soon as my at the end of this month I get my vacation slips back. I'm gonna start nagging soon, because soon as my tax return hits the bank, I want to pay it off.
Right,
I don't even want to look at it and calculate what I can do with it. I just want to pay my vacation first, and then I'll be like, all right, now we can do something else.
Nice.
But yeah, I want my time to be approved. So as soon as it hit the account, I want to pay.
We're going in April, and I told my boyfriend, I'm like, you really need to put your vacation in. And in true male fashion, he's like, it's only February. I'm like, he's like, I'm like, what if you can't go? I was like, I'll bring April. Like, April, we driving.
I'll call out sick. I'm like, I'm sick all week. I'm just telling you that from Monday. I'm sick now.
Tell your boyfriend and your baby that you're going to Jamaica.
Yeah, I'll be like, I'm sick for the rest of the week. Don't even expect me back.
Oh my God. Nothing really is new over here. I feel like I haven't filled anyone in about my relationship, because maybe it was important to Martini. Not as much important to you guys. But if you care, nothing exciting is happening. We looked at rings, but it was like a 10-minute visit. It was like going to a puppy shop and not getting a puppy.
Yeah.
It was like, this isn't it. This is what I like. And then I was like, okay, we can go to Macy's now and see what's on clearance.
That's how it was with us when we looked. It was like a quick.
Yeah.
It wasn't quick, but, because, I think it was because I don't like much of anything when it comes to that. So
Right.
I was like, yeah, I like that style. And, we went to that jeweler because I saw something online that they had. But it was more so like him kind of looking like, oh, I like that, but that's not like quite it. And I'm like, you need to like that section,
Right.
that $200 section. But
so he's gonna be the one with the flashy ring.
Yeah, he was like, oh, I like that. I'm like, you better not like nothing over a certain amount of money, because that ain't. I'm finding the cheaper version.
I was looking at the rings for the guys, and I was like, do you like that black ring? It's just like a solid black band.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, why not just a traditional silver band? I was like, I'm like, well, I don't have to wear it, so let me stop.
You know who has beautiful rings? Costco.
Really?
I always look when I go in there.
Really?
Yeah, beautiful jewelry. And sometimes they have like nice watches, and they just have a really nice little jewelry section.
I always, I don't know. I don't even think I skipped that. I can't get past the TVs. I'm like, oh, big screen TVs.
Beautiful jewelry.
Really? I have to look.
Mm-hmm.
So I picked out a ring that I like. It was under $2,000, which I think is not bad.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's not like break the bank. It's not like 5 G's.
Yeah.
So
there's people with $10,000 and $15,000 rings on.
Right.
So yeah.
I'm just like,
People be still paying for the ring and the marriage over.
true. And I was like, I really like it. I was like, I really like that ring in St. Martin too. Not gonna let it go. But yeah, well, so we looked and that was it. And then the conversation kind of just like, and I told my mom, she's like, what does it mean? I was like, nothing.
It means we looked and we came home.
Right.
We got a piece of chicken and we came home.
She was like, should I start planning something? I was like, no.
Well, what date? What you? What day you going?
That's what she's like. Do you want a birthday party or an engagement party? I'm like, if I had to choose, the only one that's gonna definitely come is my birthday, God willing. Like, Jesus.
That's funny. I'm like, why I gotta choose now? Like, I gotta make this decision now.
And she's like sending me pictures of my dad and his great grandchild. She's like, look how happy your father looks. I was like, y'all they're really good with this Italian Catholic guilt shit. Jesus. Damn. But yeah, I'm trying to think if anything was going on in the news this week that we talked about. Well, we talked about the B.
Smith.
Smith. That she has Alzheimer's.
Mm-hmm. B. Smith was, for people who don't know her, it was like, I think in the 90s, maybe close to the or somewhere in the early 2000s. B. Smith was almost like, you know, like sort of like Martha Stewart. Mm-hmm. She had branded herself as a decorator, homemaker, sort of company, her own, and she had a little show on like style and decoration, and she got early onset Alzheimer's. I believe she was in her 50s.
Damn,
she was pretty young, and now her husband is taking care of her, but he has a girlfriend. Girlfriend's white. I don't think it matters, but girlfriend's white. He lives with, I guess, I don't know. I don't remember hearing that part on the little video of them I saw. But I read something said she has a room in the house. I don't know about that, but maybe she does. But he said he thinks the wife would have liked her. The wife gets along with her. She helps him. His daughter helps him, which is her stepdaughter. But of course, you know, I personally, people said they should have kept it private, but I personally think somebody was about to say something.
Right.
And he said, instead of making it look like a dirty little secret, let me just tell my own story. That way, you know, I actually commented on that, and somebody commented back to me 3 days later and said, that may be true, because my comment was, I think somebody was going to expose him, and that's why it was private. They didn't just start dating 2 weeks ago.
Right.
They had been dating for a while, and if he was going to, somebody said they have a podcast and they have a book they trying to promote. I don't know if that's true, because they didn't say that, but it could be true. I don't know. But I personally think that somebody was going to say something, and that's what I said in the comment. I said, because everybody was saying, why didn't they keep it private? Why didn't they keep it private? And I was like, well, he's been with this lady for a while. I think he was keeping it private. Mm-hmm. And he decided to tell his own story instead of somebody else telling it. And this lady commented, I would have denied it. And this is how many times she said it. I would have denied. And then I would have broke up with her. And my response to her was, denial means shame.
Right.
And I don't, like, depending on how you look at it, I don't know if he loved the lady or not. When you love somebody, you can't just walk away from them like that.
Right, of course not.
Like, they basically sharing a life together, like any other boyfriend and girlfriend couple. So he's not just going to walk away from, and my answer was, he's not just going to walk away from this lady based on public opinion. Because that's what it's based. That's what you basing it on. Because people found out, I gotta walk away. You basing it on other people's opinions.
And Alzheimer's isn't just like they forgot your name and they forgot how to cook and decorate and all these things, but it's also like sometimes they forget to walk. They forget how to use the bathroom. They lose their faculties. You know, and being a caretaker is like super taxing. So he deserves
24 hours.
He deserves happiness in his life, and you know, like you and I have said before, maybe they had that conversation.
Because I would, after my diagnosis, I would have said, "Listen,
If this
don't
gets
move,
worse.
don't move this heifer in, but she don't get no room now. But I would say, listen, go out, date, meet somebody, and live your life, because one day I'm gonna wake up and I'm not gonna know who you are.
Right.
And why do you? That's basically like you think like you're alone.
Right.
Like if your wife or not, and people were putting about vows and all that stuff. I don't care what nobody say. When you get up there and when you get married and you meet somebody, in y'all mind, y'all gonna be together, and then you're gonna retire together and enjoy your life together. Nobody's getting married saying, we getting married and we're gonna have a life together, but you might get early onset dementia. You thinking you're gonna retire with your person, and when you get that diagnosis, you don't know what decision you're gonna make until you're in that situation.
Right.
But I personally would be like, listen, one day I'm gonna wake up and not know who you are. Go live your life. Mm-mm. This is not what we planned for. This is not what you signed up for. I don't care what the vows say. And I personally said I want my vows to say through sickness and health, not mental health. Unless your mental health problem was caused by an accident of some sort and you have some sort of brain damage, that's no fault of your own.
Right.
But if you decide to start shooting up heroin or gambling the mortgage money, I didn't sign up for that.
No.
You know what I mean? And gambling is an addiction. Heroin is an addiction. Alcoholism is an addiction. I mean, if you become an alcoholic because, God forbid, something really tragic happens to you, I'll try my best to work with you because something traumatic happened to you.
Right.
And it's not like you just decided to become a drunk. But at some point,
I'm gonna go out and get loaded.
Right. But
Fuck what you say.
Right. But at some point, I did not sign up to take care of you and deal with addiction. I didn't sign up for that.
And I think that's a very strong point of view, and a lot of people would disagree. A lot of people would be like, no, you have to stay. You have to do whatever. Mm-hmm. And people think that they're failing a person if they walk away. But, like, at the cost of your own mental health and the cost of your own sanity and your own health, because doing the above and about for somebody else who's not doing it for themselves will drain you of everything that you have. Vitamins and sanity and everything. And, like, just to say you love them,
right?
Like,
you gotta love yourself before you can give anybody. I mean, if people wanna, and I think a lot of people who say that never dealt with addiction in any kind of way, whether through work or family or whatever the case is. It's draining dealing with addiction as a social worker or a case. Can you imagine in your family, like? Every day somebody you live with, I mean, I would be doing case management, have a client, like, I'm done for the week. Like, this hour was,
I don't know how women do it. Like, my brother's an addict, and, like, he's not part of our family anymore because my family has decided that we're done with your shenanigans. But, like, every time a girlfriend would call, they'd call my mom because the mom was, like, the closest person. That's not even her kid. And they'd be, like, crying and driving around and going to fucking crack hotels trying to find him. And, then we're, 1,200 miles away worried about, like, are they going to find a body? Like, that shit's, just that alone is exhausting. Let alone, like, the fact that, like, you're just not a productive person and you don't know how to necessarily give back.
And you taking from everybody and not giving no. Because imagine, technically, you can run your blood pressure up to the point where you have a stroke. Right. And that's not going to bring that person out of the addiction. Right. You're going to have a stroke somewhere in a nursing home somewhere, can't walk, talk, feed yourself, wipe your own ass, and they still going to be high somewhere. Right. Matter of fact, they're going to be more high because they're going to find another reason to get high because you're the way you... No. I'm sorry. I mean, like, and people got to realize a lot of times when people think marriage, people think, well, I've been married 27 years. You got married at 25. Right. I'm about to hit the 35. I'm about to be 35. I'm not getting married in my 30s. I might be 40 I'm going to be 40 years old, married, chasing nobody around no damn town. I mean, when you in your early 20s and you want to chase it, you got time in life.
The good news is the onset of schizophrenia is in the 20s. So.
Exactly. And, and sometimes things happen and makes people a certain way later in life. But technically, if somebody's mentally ill, your ass know at this point. But I mean, like, if something, happens, like, sometimes people do pick up addictions. But my thing is, when you're in your 20s, you want to chase a man around town looking for him, looking to see where he high at. I get it. You got all the time in the world. I'm 40 years old. I'm not chasing you nowhere. I'm 40 years old. I don't have time for that. like technically life is too short. Everybody got to live their own life.
Yeah.
You know, so. But I would definitely say, listen, I done made all this money. You take care of me. Get me a homemaker, and make sure I'm good, and go. You know, that I think you've fulfilled the vows in that sense.
Part of marriage is like wanting the other person to be happy as well, and if you're not going to be able to do that anymore, you know, there's no reason why that shouldn't happen.
Because you're not yourself.
Because a lot of people are like, oh, you know, I know my friends like dad passed away and her mom's like, no, I'll never love anyone else other than your father. And it's like, that's admirable,
right?
But
realistically he's dead.
You know, I'm sure he would have wanted you to be happy, and you know, I think that's if this generation, like our generation going forward, I don't know about you millennials, like y'all don't want to leave the house, you don't want to date, you don't want to get married, you just want to have orgies. I don't really know. I don't get it, you guys. Sorry.
Open relationship.
Yeah, they're like, I have 3 boyfriends. How exhausting is that?
We're polyamorous. We sister wives. Like, yeah,
like, why is she moaning so loud? Damn, he giving her the good dick. I didn't get that.
Like, no, you're not sister wives, but you're in a cult. It's just not that many of y'all.
But like, I feel like the later, if our generation is getting married later, and I feel like they'll have a higher success rate because it's not for all the same reasons that like our parents got married. Like, they're not getting married because they're starting their family in their 20s, or you know, they're 25, 6, 7, and they're told that they have to be married, or they're being arranged into marriage, or you know, everyone's kind of like built their life.
Pregnant, so you got to get married.
Built their career, and like hopefully you know that you don't necessarily need this other person. You just like want them as an addition.
And I agree with it when they say getting married later in life can be a tad bit dangerous. Because the older you get, the more set in your ways you are. Right. And you kind of don't want to bend.
But if you could find someone.
But then on the other hand, you know, some people are open-minded and flexible enough that they will bend.
Right.
And they will say, yes, I'm used to doing this way. And yes, I like this and that exact way. But you know what? It's not that serious.
My ex-boyfriend told me that he's like, I think I learned a lot from living with you. I was like,
don't get a bed.
And I don't know, like, I guess about like living with other people and like what you want and what you need. And I was like, does that mean
he learned a lot, because then he went and got a roommate and knew shit was going down that he didn't like and understood at that point.
And I was like, does that mean you use a laundry basket, you know? Like, what does that mean?
That mean you picking up behind yourself now?
And we're like, okay. So I guess like you do have to live and learn.
But you got to be like, because some people have they're a little more centered, where they say, it's not that serious.
Right.
I'll sacrifice that. I'll you know, bend on that. But on the other hand, like, you get to your 30s, you know, early 40, you know who you are.
Yeah.
And the person you're marrying know who they are. And it's 2 people marrying somebody like that knows themselves. And I think that's a lot healthier. And I think I remember reading people who get married later in life stay married longer.
Not that much time left.
because you, when you young, you don't know who you are, what you want. You
right.
get married at a point where, you know, I think I want this. I think you think you want certain things, and then you're 30 and you're like, no, I technically don't want that, because I'm a new person. Not a new person, but I've matured, I've evolved, I've realized some things, and this is not what I want.
I need to have like a dream therapist come speak with me, because I keep having all these like weird dreams about my ex-boyfriend, the one from Brooklyn who you hate. But in the dreams, like,
I don't hate him.
You despise him.
I don't like, yeah. I don't hate him.
No. It's like in the dreams, like he's with his girlfriend or wife now, who the fuck knows. And like we're like trying to be friends, and I know I shouldn't like her, but I'm being nice to her because I'm an adult. It's just so weird. And I'm like, stop infiltrating my brain, like I'm trying to sleep. And then I wake up, I'm like, ugh, that's so weird. Yeah. Can I just dream about puppies or something? Anything. OBGYN exams, I don't know. Anywho's, love at first sight. Have you had it?
Never.
Really?
Never.
Lust
I
at
love
first sight?
lust at first sight.
Okay.
Yeah. Never. I've never loved. I mean, I, I only loved one guy, which is John, which the guy I'm with now. I never loved anybody else. I never told anybody. I never told nobody I loved him either.
Damn.
But yeah, I never. Like, he's the only guy I ever told that to. I just never felt that strong. Like, I've liked people a lot, and I was like dating just them at some points. Like, oh, okay, you know.
Not even the dude with the notebooks?
No.
Really?
Never told him.
Y'all
He
don't
never
know what
told
we're
me
talking about, but
either.
it's not important. It's not your business.
He never told me. I never told him. But it was
Ah.
just because we wasn't fully committed to each other either. So, I mean, I guess that was
okay.
part of it. Yeah, we was just kind of like wasting time, I guess you could say. But I don't believe it. I don't believe you really love somebody until you've seen them at their worst.
That's deep.
Or you respond like until that person gets on your nerves. And you stick around after they get on your nerves. All right, maybe you getting up. But like to love somebody without seeing them mad, without seeing them how they are when they're sad, without seeing how they handle adversity, I don't know how you can like how they around your family. Are they blacking out? Like, you know, like does somebody their family say, if you're somebody in your family or your mother say something a little sharp to them, what are they gonna handle that?
Well, they did some kind of research, and basically they're saying that you're more likely to be in love at first sight with beautiful people. Men report it more than women do, believe it or not, which I found surprising. They say it usually isn't mutual, which I get. And they also said that it's not really love. No shit.
Right.
I definitely had lust at first sight. Right. They say, and then Bustle put out an article saying, like, if you know it's love at first sight, if you feel queasy upon meeting them, you want to know everything about them. This sounds like you. You're the only person they're the only person you see.
Queasy could be disgust. This food making me nauseous. I can't stand it.
Queasy can be cheese fries. I mean, you feel a sense of familiarity, and you find their mannerisms super appealing. It's creepy.
Yeah, I don't find no mannerisms appealing.
I get what they're saying. You know how we talk about how guys
like
have swag?
Yeah. If you
That's
mean
what I
it
think
in
they
that
mean.
sense, yeah.
That's what I think that that they're going for. Like, I remember when I went to, I think I spoke about him on the podcast. I think I might have referred to him as the mailman, because he's the mailman in the next town over. When I first met him, I was like, OMG. Where did he come
This is love.
He was like a young Kamani Marley, but Dominican. And he had like this giant smile, and I was like, oh my God, he's so cute. And I went up and like, I was at a Dave and Buster's, and I went up and I was like, sorry to bother you in this lovely establishment. I don't know why that shit came out of my mouth, but that's the only person I've ever been like, oh my God.
Like smitten.
I'm sure if I met Kamani Marley though.
I see the gorgeous people thing, because the only like person I've ever said that like that I didn't know like jokingly was like a celebrity. Like, you know, you see, I'll be like, I love him. Like, I'll marry him. I want to marry him. But like, I mean, but I think Idris is right. I think that's a delusion. Like, I feel like if I saw him in real life, it probably wouldn't be that, you know, because you see somebody in a movie star way. As opposed to if he was just sitting at a bar with a baseball cap
or walking around the mall or something.
Not that you wouldn't say, damn, he looked good. But would you be like, I love him, I want to marry him? No. You know what I mean? Like, you see him in a movie and he got his walk going on and he's like dangerous in the movie and strong and like, you know, shooting people. You're like, but if you just saw him like at a coffee shop, you'd be like, oh, he's handsome. Who is that? But would you be, I would marry him? No, you're not going to say that. You're going to wait to see what comes out of his mouth.
Right.
You know, like, so I can see where people like guys with, you know, first thing, they see a supermodel or somebody, that's what's in their head.
Guys look at women, they look at their body. I don't think they're really looking at personality.
Right.
I mean, most of it's like face, body, you know. It sounds rapey, but it is. I mean, that's what it is. No guy has ever been like, oh, she's got a great voice or attitude or whatever.
Right.
I think the only reason that would change is if like you go to somewhere where somebody's like publicly speaking or something, and like they move you.
Mm-hmm.
Like maybe women are dropping panties for Joel Osteen. I don't know.
And probably. And like guys who say like, because I've heard stories where guys were like, as soon as I saw her, I knew I was gonna marry her.
Right.
You know, and then I'm kind of like, what other factors led to that though? Like, you know, you said that to yourself, but I mean, like Steve Harvey said that about his current wife.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, did you say that the other 2 times though? You know what I mean? Like, did you say that because you knew like I had money and, you know, I have a lot of money? She's probably going to marry me if I ask her. I mean, like, did you, you know, like sometimes, like, I mean, I had a high school friend that said her father said he saw his mother, they were in the 3rd grade together, and he said that woman's going to be my wife one day. Well, some of us, to me, that's coincidence. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, she just happened to like you, like, enough to marry you, or maybe she.
Who's thinking about marriage in 3rd grade?
Yeah, I don't know. You know, sometimes people might make that stuff up. But like Steve Harvey said, he saw his wife, and they got married later in life. I don't know. They must have been. I don't know. I think he older than her, so
Is he?
maybe. Yeah, I think he 10
He
years
needs
older
to
than
lose
her.
that beard.
I think she's 50 and he's 60. So I don't know how old. I don't know how long they've been married. Maybe 10 years or so. Maybe she was 40, he was 50. I don't know. But like, I mean, a part of him had to be like, I'm really rich. Like, she's probably not gonna turn me down. No, of course she's.
I'm
gonna
Steve
marry me.
Harvey.
But
I'm
he
the king
did
of
say
comedy.
It was one day, or they told a story where she packed her shit one day and was like, "Call me when you're ready to settle down."
Mm.
And he broke his phone in half and was like, "I'm ready." Like, cause I guess he thought she was asleep, and she heard him talking to a woman, and she got up later and packed her suitcase and was like, "You know, I'm good. Call me when you ready to, you know, be serious." And I guess in that moment he was like, "Oh shit, she about to walk out." So I'm like,
And she stayed?
I guess.
I would have left for a week anyway.
Uh-huh.
Just a week. A day, too.
Like Marjorie knew what she was doing. But I mean, I still don't.
Do they have kids together?
Mm-mm.
Oh, so all those kids are his kids from different marriages.
She has 3.
And then
He has, I don't know, 4. He got a set of twins. Maybe 4.
okay.
He has 4, and I think she has 3.
Well, that's a nice
But
little
he like
blended family.
adopted her kids. That's why they got his last name.
Oh.
I don't know how old. I'm guessing they were. I guess they were under 18 when they got married. So he adopted them. It's strange because both their fathers were drug dealers that's in jail. So.
Oh.
Because they were cousins.
How do you know all this?
Facebook, you know. One of
He's
her,
just like a wealth of knowledge.
I think maybe she got 2 kids because one. I don't know. She got 2 or 3. But
April's
the first
like the blood type
husband
is O positive and April.
well, the first husband was a kingpin. He got locked up for life.
What the fuck?
Drug kingpin. He got locked up for life. So and then she married his cousin.
What?
And then he got locked. He was a drug dealer also. He got locked up, but she had kids by both of them.
That's as creepy as a Joe Biden story. I can't sleep good at night thinking about that.
So of course people have labeled her a gold digger because now she's married to Steve Harvey. So. But I don't think people tend to never put themselves in other people's shoes. But I can see. So you're a drug dealer, right? Your cousin goes to jail. Your cousin got kids. You going over to the house like here. Take care of the kids, which is what he should do.
Right.
Because that's the life.
He's giving her drug money?
Well, I mean, that's what I think. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
Because she probably wasn't. I mean, she might have been, but most likely she wasn't working.
Right.
So his cousin goes to jail. I'm assuming they were selling drugs together.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So he's like, I'm going to take care of my cousins. I'm going to take care of my family. So here's some, you know, he's out still selling.
Right.
So I got y'all. I'm taking care of this family, you know. And then he comes over and they have a glass of wine together and, you know, like, oh.
Remixed by April.
you're a really nice guy. Like, you know, she by herself and he come over and, you know, he said... Maybe he's the only adult she gets to talk to sometimes, only adult male.
How'd she meet Steve?
She went to his comedy show. And I'm guessing it was I don't know how big the venue was, but he saw her walking to the table, he said. So I don't know if he was at like a comedy club, but he saw her walking to the table and he said
like when
something
it's not
to her.
20 degrees outside, we should just go to the Comedy Cellar in the city and see who shows up. not
you
to get
see
a
they
date.
bought Village Underground?
Yeah, I saw. I
Mhm.
watched the Ray Romano thing.
Oh yeah, I like that. I thought it was funny.
It was funny.
It wasn't like the most hilarious thing you ever seen in your life, but it was funny.
I was confused because like when he went to Village Underground, it said Comedy Cellar, and I was like, what?
Mm-hmm.
And then he said like, oh, I started here right around the corner, here and around the corner or whatever.
Right, because they basically bought it.
I was like,
yeah.
I did like the live music at Village Underground.
Mm-hmm.
We digress.
Mhm.
But so
what do you think? Do you believe it could happen? Love at
love,
first sight.
no, I definitely believe less could happen.
Mm-hmm.
Forbes did an article. It says, is love at first sight is actually lust at first sight. My first question was, who the fuck's listening to Forbes for relationship advice? Like, don't they do money?
Mm-hmm. That's why they put it together, because they looking at Forbes for who got money. That's why they put it in there. Like when these chicks come up to you, happen to bump into you outside your office.
Don't believe that.
It's not love. She happened to bump into you outside your office.
So they said, who didn't remember the feeling of love at first sight? And more passion is linked to higher relationship satisfaction and stability. So basically they're saying, like, if you look at somebody and you feel like lust, because that's what it is, you might have a better relationship, which might lead to love because you're more attracted,
So
you're having
highly
more
attracted
sex,
to them.
and which makes sense.
Mhm.
But they said it's not really love. It's just a really strong physical attraction that gets retroactively interpreted by the couple as love because they're projecting their current feelings for each other onto their feelings of their first meeting, and because this could actually enhance their relationship. Like, I remember when I first met my boyfriend, I remember driving away and being like, would he be the one? Like, because at 30 plus, you start dating only really to meet people to get married. And
right.
well, I did. I don't
Or
know
be in a long term
relationship, right?
Mm-hmm.
So some guys I dated.
Mm-hmm.
I remember I met I don't remember what I called him. I called him something on the podcast. That nice man from England, the English boy.
Mm-hmm.
He was fine, and he came over and he was awkward. But like when I met him, I was like, yeah, this ain't going nowhere.
Right. It's like, even guys, I feel like that we may call a boyfriend or whatever, like, it's like, like, I don't know, this guy is never going to be serious. Or,
Right.
It's like, I can't see, like, would I marry this person and deal with this? Because technically, if you're talking about marrying somebody, you're talking about marrying them in the state they are now. 10 years from now, yeah, they might be doing better or they might not.
They might be doing worse.
They might be the same exact person they are now, so.
Like, when I met my boyfriend, I was like, oh, he's cute. And then I was just like, I don't know. Like, he was dressed like, well, he still dresses awkward. He dresses older than he is. Like, he's just very professionally dressed all the time. Sometimes I'm like, put on a graphic tee, live a little. But, like, so I was just like, oh, I'm like, but he's nice. And, like, I had previously dated, like, so many shitheads that I was, like, had trained my brain to, like, not nitpick the small things, kind of. Like, he was nice. He held a great conversation. He asked me about myself. We just went for tea and we talked for like hours, and we had been talking on the phone, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna give this a chance. But I wasn't like, oh my god.
Yeah, I personally think, though, I disagree with that article. I personally think those are the relationships that last longer, when the attraction is just regular.
Right.
Like, not over the hill. Oh, he's, first of all, looks fade. Men and women. Looks fade. Like, so, like, I think, like, oh, yeah, he's cute. Yeah, I like the way it's like a regular, yeah, I like the way he looks.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't think it's healthy to be so disillusioned with the outside. Like, so obsessed with the outside. Because when you're, like, swooning and all up in your feelings about how somebody look on the outside, I feel like you might lose focus on the personality. Like, I think that happens to some people. Sometimes they think somebody's so beautiful, so gorgeous, so handsome, that they're not paying attention to the red flags because they so mesmerized with the outside.
Right.
And I feel like if you're like, oh yeah, he's cute, he's my type, he's handsome, but then, like, people will say, but we talked for hours. But I've heard a lot of people in long-term relationships say that. The first couple of times they met, we talked for hours.
Right.
We talked on the phone for hours. And that means you're attracted to their personality.
Right, which is,
and that's
better
holding
off.
more weight at the moment than how they look. Yeah, how they look is cool, but I can talk to this
What
person.
did you think when you first met your boyfriend?
I was just like, oh, he like the same. I was like, oh, he's handsome. He looks like his picture. Great.
He looks like his
picture. I'm like, good. You look like your picture. Like, I'm like, oh, he's handsome. Like, oh, he's as tall as he says he is.
He didn't overshot himself.
Right. He was clean. He smelled good. He wasn't, hygienically, he was on point, like, and, but
guys are like, this is the shit girls think about.
Yeah.
Yes.
But, like, that was the first thing, like, I wasn't, so, super mesmerized by the outside. And, like, honestly, like, I mean, if I'm, like, somewhere dressed up with makeup on, I don't want a guy to be super mesmerized with the outside because that's not how I look
I don't
all
remember
the time.
first time I met your boyfriend.
I don't remember either. But
I think you met my boyfriend when his brother did the podcast.
yeah, that's when I met.
But
Vinci.
I don't remember the first time I met John.
I don't either. But I know the first moment I really knew, like, okay, I can deal with him is when he offered me his food.
Really?
Yep. When he offered, because me, him, and my sister went to the Meadowlands Fair. For those of you that's not from Jersey, the Meadowlands Fair is just that. It's at the Giant Stadium, and it's carnival rides, and it's a big ass carnival, and like freaky people. That's like the 4 foot Haitian woman. And no, I don't think she's 4 feet. She's like 4 inches.
Yeah, 4 inches. She's not 4 inches.
She little as hell, like doll furniture. Okay, maybe a little bit bigger than doll furniture.
She's like 4 inches.
Well, she's like
2 feet.
Yeah, she's really like beyond midget. Like it's just she's next
I wonder
level.
If she's still alive.
Probably living off them dollars. You gotta give it splitting them dollars. But yeah, so it's a fair, like scaled down World's Fair, like that stuff, games, whatever. So we're there. We all get food. We all have food. I had something. She had something. He had something. But he was the only one with French fries. Mm-hmm. And he was like, you guys want some? I was like, okay. Because I stick by it for the rest of my life. If a man don't offer you his food, he not going to give your ass nothing else.
Damn.
So that's my thing.
That's like, check.
Right. Because to me, that's the least you can offer somebody is some food.
Right.
Even if you don't give them no money. You give them some food. So that's why I'm like, I was like, oh, he didn't have to offer us anything. It's not like we didn't have any food. We all have food. And he's like, oh, like to me, you're letting me know you share. You're not selfish. And you thinking of me at a moment when you don't have to. Like, it just says a lot about your personality. Like, you could have just, now I have to like grab some before.
Right.
He gobbles them all down. But even now, he'll say, take what you want. He'll,
offer some up.
He still offers me his food. And now I got to take him up on that offer quick now because I can't decide. But if I say put me something to the side, he'll put it to the side. But and it doesn't mean, I understand some people don't like people putting their hands on their plate. Sharing your food doesn't mean the person have to touch your plate. You could put it on
stick their fork in. Or
right. It does. I understand people have their quirks and, I have mine too. But it doesn't mean you could take a saucer or something and scrape them some.
Right.
You're still sharing it. Sharing doesn't mean they have to touch your plate.
Right.
Like, I've seen some people come back with that. And I'm like, if that's the only form of sharing, I still have issue with you. Because you didn't even think about, it was almost like a defense. Well, I don't want nobody hands in my food. Okay, but that's the only way you know how to share.
I dated that one guy. I think I said it on the podcast before. Where he'd be like, are you going to eat all that? What?
Right.
Or he'd be like, before I start eating, do you want anything? And I'm like,
so after you start eating, I can't have a piece?
Right. Like, what the fuck?
If you have
Why are there stipulations on this?
Right. Because you really don't want to share it. That's what that is. You know what I mean? So it's like I feel like when somebody ready to come back quick, like, I don't want nobody hands in my plate. That's not the only way to share.
Right.
Scrape some off on another. Put a piece on a saucer, another plate, or put it on the person's plate. Here, you want a piece? Here.
Right.
Or let them, cut them a piece. And it's other ways to share. Share doesn't mean the person got to be.
You don't have to eat off their fork.
All up in your plate. Yeah. So. But that was important for me. So that's when I realized, not that he was the one, but that's when I realized, okay, I can keep this going.
Like love at first bite.
Yeah. And then he was determined to, I thought it was really sweet. He was determined to win another stuffed animal so we could both have one.
Aw.
So I thought that was cute. He didn't have to, but.
You're like, those baskets are rigged, right?
Yeah, but he was like determined to win. And I'm like, you could do this for her. I hate this crap. I think it's junk. It takes a room in the house. I don't. I'm like, my sister likes crap like this. Win her one. She can have this one. I know. But, I can see him like, try to impress people with like, it's okay for guys to impress women, but it's better when you don't do it based on materialistic stuff. Like, try to impress me with your personality.
Right.
And that you're a nice person. Don't try to impress me with cars and money.
The first time me and my boyfriend went out to eat, like on our first official date, we did hibachi and we sat at like the hibachi
at the grill
thing.
Mm-hmm.
And there was like an older couple next to us, like a Spanish couple. And like he sparked up a conversation with them, and him and the guy were like laughing and joking around. And I've dated like so many people who were like antisocial that like, even though I didn't feel like I became the antisocial one, like I was kind of like a little quieter, but I was like so happy that like he had a personality where he would just talk to people.
I'm like, oh, I can take you places. Okay,
right.
All right. I don't have to be embarrassed that you're gonna sit there in La La Land. Okay,
right, or meow at people, whatever. I mean. So, so those are the things that are important. But I mean, I don't think it was love at first sight for me either. I was kind of just like, oh, he's nice. Robert Sternberg, whoever the fuck he is, I should have looked it up, but it's not important to me. He says the triangular theory of love has to have 3 components, which is intimacy, passion, and commitment. What do you think about that? How can you have intimacy at first sight? That's why they're thinking it's rigged.
Intimate. That's what he's saying. You have to have in order to love somebody.
Intimacy, which is like a mutual opening up, sharing, and emotional closeness and attachment. Passion, which is physical arousal, desire, excitement, and craving for the other person. And commitment, which is a conscious decision to stick with one another.
I agree with that. I think you kind of hold somebody kind of off when you don't share anything personal with them, when you don't tell them about your life, or to like I think in order to fully relate to somebody, you have to tell them your story. Right. And everybody has a story. Everybody has one. Some are not as dramatic as others, but like if something really traumatic happened to you as a kid, I mean, it did kind of like play a part in shaping who you are as a person. Right. And it's like until you share that with somebody, you are kind of, it's
not a lie, but it's like a misconception of
right.
Who you are.
You are kind of leaving the person in a position where they may not understand some things about you. Right. If you don't tell them this happened to me and it's partly why I do X, Y, and Z.
Sometimes they don't know.
Right. So, and it's like if you, let's say, for example, like if you were really close to, like if you had a sibling that died when you were young and, you have issues with death or talking about death or hospitals or things like that, like that's something you could tell the person, like, listen, my, sibling brother died when I was young and, that's why I'm that way, or that's why, I'm working. I mean, you need to work on it, but apparently, like, it's a lot. Or if you had like like if something happened to you, like if you were sexually molested or something, right? And you're like not too good with affection or touching, or like, unfortunately, I know you may not want to talk about it, but that's a part of who you are in a way. It doesn't have to define you, but it's a reason why you flinch. It's a reason why you don't want somebody to see you naked. There's I mean, these things. Right. If the person doesn't know why you're doing these things, it's almost like a wall is up. And it will keep people from, it's like when the more you open up, the more people tend to love you, I think. Like, oh, the person. Right. They get to know you. They're more understanding. They're patient. They should be patient. And then they tell you more. Right. Like somebody tell me something that personal. I'm going to come, not like a competition, but I'm like, oh, maybe I can tell you
I can
more.
Share with you now.
Yeah. Like people feel like you can handle it at that point. Like, so.
So, like on Mythbusters, blah, 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 they debunk myths, true or false. So, do you believe in love at first sight?
False.
False. I don't think it's real. It's bullshit. Since we have a few minutes, Valentine's Day, true or false?
False.
She's like, no.
I don't mind casually celebrating Valentine's. Like, if you just casually get me something just because you felt like it. Like, last year, I, like, casually, got something for my mom and my grandma from Kai.
Right, yeah.
I just casually was like, oh, this would be cute to let him give out chocolates. Right. But, like, I don't, I'm not so serious about it. If you don't get me anything, I'm mad. And we have to go out and sit somewhere for 2 hours. One year John's sister made reservations somewhere. That was still a shit show, but
what?
Because it was like we still had to wait 45 minutes for a table, even though we had reservations. Then the valet lost his car key and had to call a locksmith to give him another car key. That was 2.5 hours after we were ready to leave. So we were sitting there for 2.5 hours because they tried to look for the key and all that. And then they called a locksmith, and that took a while. So it was like 2.5 hours. It was just, but I don't need to go sit somewhere for 2-3 hours waiting to eat somewhere I can eat any other day of the week. I don't need, buy me flowers March 29th.
Right.
I don't need to February, and I think that allows men to get away with
not doing anything on Valentine's Day.
That's
what I was telling someone today.
February 14th they came through, so they get a pass the rest of the year. Fuck that. You need to be coming up with some surprise shit the rest of the year. Forget about, and I think that gives guys a pass, like, because there's guys that think that because women have them conditioned that way. If you come through on Valentine's Day, that's all that matters.
Right.
What about the rest of the year?
Yeah, like
besides your birthday and Christmas. But what if just to like
my boyfriend, like, well, if I say like I said to him once, I was like, oh, I want a water bottle that fits like in my cup holder, but that holds a lot of water. This motherfucker starts researching it. He was researching. We were talking about the Tommy jackets the other night. He's on eBay. I'm like, listen, if I find my Tommy jacket, I find it. But please stop looking for it because I may not wear it. But that's how he is. Like, if we talk about something and like it's cheapy, he'll be like, he'll go see if he can find it. And next thing I know, there's a box at the door. So we were at the mall the other day, and he has like this like cheap ass brand cologne that he wears, but it's like the cheap version of the real version of something else.
Right.
So we smelled the real version at the mall, and I was like, yo, this shit is like 10 times better, dude. And so I was like, listen, I'll just buy it for you. And I was like, it'll be for Valentine's Day. And he's like, well, what do I have to? I'm like, you don't have to give me anything. Like, I don't necessarily buy him things unless like he needs it. So I'm like, look, we'll just say it's for Valentine's Day because I know you don't like me spending money on you like that.
Right. Because you saying that in order to get him to accept the gift, basically, and stop and resisting.
He's like, but you're not getting me anything else, right? I was like, no, I'm not. That shit was $90. You good. But like, just because usually he'd be like, no. He doesn't like spending a lot of money on himself. So it's just like, get it. Just forget it. But I don't expect anything on Thursday. Like, I just don't.
No, I don't. What? I don't want. First of all, I'm too old. I don't want no goddamn teddy bears in my house.
No,
it's junk. It's junk. What am I gonna do with that? If you want to buy flowers, that's fine. I like flowers personally. I like to see it on the table and put it in the vase. I love flowers. So if you're gonna buy flowers, that's fine. Or cook if you want to cook dinner because you haven't cooked in a while and you say, oh, it's Valentine's Day, I might as well. Like, if you want to do something nice like that, or I like chocolates. I mean, nothing with coconut or walnuts, but I don't like walnuts.
Plain chocolate.
But like chocolate, if it got pecan or peanuts in it and you want to get chocolates, don't give me no fucking teddy bear. I don't like teddy bears. It's taking up space.
Oh, yeah.
I used to give it to the dog. Personally, the dog thinks it's a toy anyway. I just let the dog have it when we had a dog. But I don't like junk. Like, some of that stuff is junk. I don't teddy bears with hearts. That's,
I think from the first Valentine's Day, I have like this like Woodstock and Snoopy matching hugging set thing from Da Vinci. That shit's like in the corner of my bedroom collecting dust, and I like want to throw it out, but I know he'll be offended. And then once he like brought me home this giant ass monkey that's sitting upstairs in the hallway scaring the shit out of people. Like, I don't like that stuff, and I hate to be like ungrateful about it. But
right,
like,
you don't want to say like,
right,
what am I supposed to do with this?
Like, I can't wait to have a kid to put it in their room.
But like, I don't want
decoration.
That. Yeah, I don't want any of that. And it means way more to me when it's just like, June 3rd, and you bought me something that you think I'd like, it means way more to me. I'm sorry to say, but it means I feel way more special than when it's just for no reason. You just saw it and thought I'd like it. Then like one day, it was last winter maybe. He saw a jacket at his job and knows purple's my favorite color and brought me the jacket. And I was like smitten. Like I'm impressed that you looked at that jacket and thought of me and actually bought it. Because sometimes he like, I saw something at my job you may like. Okay, did you get it? But that time
you could return it.
He came through. Like I'm like, okay, and I liked it. I'm like, and it was another jacket too he bought that I like because he knows I like jackets. Like, give me some I'ma use.
Right.
Give me no damn stuffed animal. But I mean, I think it's fine to give somebody something. I just don't like the going all out. Like, I don't want to go to no restaurant that's going to take hours to sit down and eat some damn food that's going to suck because there's so many people in here that they rush in the food. And
Vita Mia has heart-shaped raviolis.
They have some heart-shaped sausage bread.
They might. They might.
But, yeah, I don't want to go somewhere and it's rushed and the food is gross because they heating the shit up or whatever they doing.
Or you're paying, like, X amount of money for, like, a steak and even flowers are expensive on Valentine's Day.
It's flowers. Everything gets more expensive. I mean, it's a capitalist society we in, and that's a reflection of it.
And guys, don't go buy a card at the store if you're just gonna sign your name to it. I'm sorry. I'm like, that's my thing maybe.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like if you're gonna go buy one of those like sappy Hallmark cards, like write something heartfelt of your own in it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care what the picture says or what. You know, I've never gotten a card and said, oh my God, it was the funniest card. Like, the cards that I have kept in my life are the cards that, like, someone, like, went ahead and, like, put something thoughtful inside.
Right. Or the cards that when you read it, it does pertain to, like, the person thought of you when they read those words.
Right.
And it's like, okay, this is like a heartfelt card.
Right.
But yeah, you should put a little something.
A little something of your
personal
own.
note. Yeah. Yeah. Because that's what's going to make you kind of hold on to it. I mean, just a card with just their name in it, you're just going to.
Like, read it, put it in recycling. Like, what the fuck?
Right. Like, yeah. But that Valentine's Day, I'm not a big. It's just I don't believe in making a big deal out of it. I just went one time and like bought the shit was like on sale or something. It was mad cheap, and I just went and bought everybody a little chocolate, a little something from Ukta, and let him give it out. He didn't. Cute. He didn't understand, but
he'll get it.
Yeah, but he was excited giving something to.
Aww.
So maybe this year
I'll
I'll
do that.
Yeah, I think
if you have kids, it's cute to do something like
Yeah. Like my mother used to buy like Valentine's cards for my class and put like little sweet tarts or something, and so I can hand them out like a little thing. But I don't know. I hope I don't have to do that.
Well, lucky for you, sweet tarts.
I don't want to be that mom.
Lucky for you, sweet tarts, to stop making the candies.
I see people on Facebook like, oh, this is for all the teachers. I'm like, doing all that. Hope
you get it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's all we have for you for today. Until next time. I think we're going to have a guest next time. Sorry the episode was late this week, but shit happens, man. Thank you for riding with us. Audible trial is still up there. None of you have clicked it, so go to the website and you'll figure it out. We are at Bed Love Beyond. If you have anything that you want us to talk about, you can find us at Gmail. Not find us. You can email us at bedlovebeyond@gmail.com. And we're on Spotify, iTunes, Google Play, wherever you're listening to us now. Please rate, like, and review us. That helps us out a lot, and it's much appreciated. April's still at Miss April Speaks. And that's it.
Peace.
Peace.